Hello everyone, this is Paula back to do the last two layouts in the Traveler's Notebook, and it's called the Living the Sweet Life. And I have to tell you, it has been so much fun. I've got a very much of an alligator going on here. It's got a big mouth. So we're going to get these last two done, and then I'll kind of flip through it really quickly. And I'm not going to tell you what we do next because I don't know yet. I haven't thought that far ahead because I've been so busy. So let's get started. We're going to do a page with peaches. Now this wasn't quite long enough, so I got some peachy gold color that's in this to match it so it will fit onto this blue page because blue don't go with peach. Okay, so we're going to glue this right here. Let me pull this other stuff out so we can have it just like we want it. Now, I did a lot of sewing. I sewed on I had to make a big tag, and I sewed that on. Let's glue this on while we're talking. And so I didn't have as much peach things as I did everything else. So I just kind of come up with what I could on peaches. I wanted to use it for sure. So we don't have a place for grapes, so we won't probably do grapes or anything for grapes. Whoa. Okay, this paper is very flimsy. It looks like it came from a writing pad, but that's all right. It's usable. All right, so now we're going to push it out or into the spine a little bit. And we'll probably have to trim some off the outside of the page. Okay, now make sure that down in the spine it's really flat. And then you can flatten the rest. Now, the person who designed the actual Traveler's Notebook is Lynette from Chic. And I'll link her below so that you can go to her Etsy shop if you would like. Now, I'm cutting some of the page prior because this is not, there's a piece of rickrack right there, so it's slowing me down. There we go. Let me pull that off. Go right back here, and I might have to turn it around so I can get it like I want it here. So funny, one page would be longer than the other, but it's the way you decorate on them that does that. They're all pretty much the size they are when you get the book, but I know the bigger mouth my book gets, the papers get different sizes. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to get this rickrack cut off, and it's fraying on me, so I'm going to use my fabric scissors. That's better. Okay, so go back around this way. And all right, so right here, this paper folds out. It's kind of a ledger paper, and it's great for using it as journaling pages. So we're not going to do anything on this paper except right here. And I figure this can be a writing space right here, okay? So I just took a gold envelope I had, and this is what I used here at the top. It's kind of a goldy orange. And I just went ahead and folded the paper over where I cut it and made a pocket out of it. And it was the perfect size for this middle portion here. And I just glued it down. You can see all the ugly part on the back. And then go like this. Okay. And we're going to put it as close over to the spine as we can so we can fold this paper back over it. And just put it at the bottom of the page. I didn't glue down the flap. You want the flap to stay up. Okay. Okay, let me get my eraser.
I'll get it. Go ahead. I'll
There it is.
There
my friend Pat is here.
I had her eraser.
She's guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged.
That's right. Pat's working on her journal as we're doing our pages. And she's never... Whoops. That's Pat's phone.
Sorry.
That's what you do when you...
invited back.
No, that's what happens when you go live, right?
Right.
Okay, so now it's leaking glue right here, so I need to get that out. But I'm going to let it set there and get a little drier first. Now, I made a card. I just found a piece of paper that was the right color, made a card, put it on a tag. Not a tag, not a card, a tag. I made a tag. Then I stitched around it in zigzag, just added a couple colors that are with the kit here. And, not the kit, you know, the actual, don't ask me. I've had lunch and it's time for a siesta. Okay, so this tag is going to go here. It's not going to have a topper, but I am going to use this little peach and butterfly journaling card that I had out of another kit. So I'm just going to, I rounded the corners and stitched around it, and I'm just gluing it down for design purposes. And this one's going to go pretty fast. Both of these today will go pretty fast. But we will do a flip through at the end. So stay tuned. Okay, here we go. Right there. I just centered it on here. Make sure it's sticking nicely. Now let me see if I can... Well, good grief. I'm just getting too close to the edge this time, I guess. Getting glue everywhere. Let me kind of get this one down here. Maybe it will do better for me. I'm going to put something underneath it to help from having it lumpy. And I'm just going to take this right off. Come off of there. Okay. Go up here too and get this glue off. Because if you don't, it will glue your pages together. It's basically... I've been trying to do better with my glue. But every once in a while, old Paula comes back. Okay, now, I think I got that on there pretty good. Now, this is where this folds. It just folds over. And I'm going to have to recrease this paper just a little bit so it folds nicely. Okay, so there we go. And there we go. Now, we've got this to write on, and we've got this to write on, and right in here. Okay, and so we're going to go to this bag that's also in the peach theme. I took a peach, just a peach card I had. It had embossing on it, and I put it together and made a tag to fit in this book. I glued this portion to the back, and then we just zigzagged right around it. Now, I am going to poke a hole in the top. Let me get my little hole puncher, and I'm just going to center it the best I can, and then punch the hole. Now, as far as fibers go, I kind of like this orange and red mix. I think that will go good with these colors. So we're going to put that on this little tag. Now, because it's pretty big, I'm just going to fold it in half, and I am going to do a different way of tying. I'm going to put the end in here, and then I'm going to hold the fiber in between my finger. See, just like that, or around my finger, I guess I should say. I am going to put a little glue right here on the front, right there. It is raining outside.
Is it really?
Sounds like it. Pat and I are having a quiet day of crafting.
I'm going to go check the rain situation.
Go check it out.
I will let everyone know. I know
She'll let you know.
You'll be curious.
You're all curious, right? That's what we think.
Not.
No, they're not. They're not curious. They think I'm nuts half the time, don't you guys? No, I'm not nuts. We know this, right? Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just tie this because it is super long. And we know it's not coming off because we glued that top portion. But I just thought it looked pretty since we have a bunch hanging down. And if I cut it off, it would be just, you know, scraps. So let's just use it. Oh, good grief. For some reason, it's slippery and I'm having a little bit of difficulty. So let's try it again. Gonna make your little bunny ears. I'm gonna cross around. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. It's lots easier for me. Yay, there we go. Now that's better. Now, just so you know, my ears are not the same size here. Let's get them as close as we can, and we'll trim just a little bit because it just is too much. Okay, and this is going to go in our bag, which if you flip open, you journal under. So this is a big journaling section right here, and the tag is sticking up, which is awesome. Now, I did matte this other little peach, and I'm going to put it on the front of the bag just like that. You could make it a pocket if you wanted. But my book is getting too chunky. I can't add anything except the bare minimum. But I like it that way. And I like to not have a lot of blank pages. You guys know this about me. You've watched me each month. But I just have fun just doing this or that because I like it. I have fun doing that. I love that most of the people in our design team all have their own style, and that makes it so much fun. Now, I think my glue is coming out faster, and that's what's happening here. Can't get it to stop on both sides this time. It's like it's just running out. Okay, the rain has stopped. Okay, get this off and then we can move over to the next page, which is a cool color scheme for pineapples. It's neat, kind of like our multicolored one, only the opposite. Let me show you. Okay, now this is going to be a perfect place to journal. Right here. Whoops, what did I do? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Then we've got this. I wouldn't have minded if I could do something on this side too. Now, I have an extra peach paper. I think, let me think if we want to do this. We wouldn't get the whole page. And I don't have any more of this gold. Let me see in my scraps if I do. I don't. So maybe we'll just leave it on that spot. And we're done with this one, okay? So let's flip over to the next one, which is going to be a pineapple. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Do you believe me? Let me see here. Take my number 12 off and find out where the page is we're going to use. You never know. It's a search every time I do it. Okay, there it is. The big 12. I'm going to erase these with the wrong eraser. Erase this one too. Hope you guys are having a fun day. It's always a fun day when Pat comes over to hang out.
It was raining really hard, Paula.
It was raining.
It just was coming down.
awesome. That just means you don't have to water the flowers,
There you
right?
go. That's right. Maybe cool it off a little bit.
Oh, that would be even better because then we could sit on the patio,
I'm
watch
ready.
the ducks and so forth.
That's right.
All right, so on this one, I have this crocheted trim, and we're going to use that. We're going to glue some of that, and I've got these real cool buttons. They have like a brown design inside. And this is the pineapple paper. It's a brown, and that's why the buttons look so good, and that's why the trim looks so good with it. Got lucky on that one. And then I'm using a couple of these tea stain cards I got from a lady named Carol. Okay, so I'm trying to decide which side to put this paper on. I'm thinking that it really doesn't matter, but I want to make sure whatever goes on this side. Yeah, let's do it on this side. No, wait a minute. Let's try it on the other side. Then we'll decide which one. I think we're going to use this one, the brown on the right, and the pineapple on the left, except I don't want to cut off any of the pineapples, so we'll have to cut some off on the side that has the brown, but we won't do that until after we get it down. Okay. My videos will start slowing down for a little bit because we're very busy getting things packed and all that. And so I wanted to finish this. And I do know that I'll be doing a design team project for Tracy Fox for sure. But I will be back, but I have to have my scrap room back together first. So I'll be doing some things every now and then when I have a chance to actually get them done. And then when we go to move, that's when I'll stop. Okay, so we're going to put this over here. If I get it turned right. You want to make sure you're getting it all the way to the bottom of the page and down into your spine there so it fits nicely. Now, if you look, you'll see that it's got this paper on the other side, which the glue decided to come through this little hole. I guess it had nowhere else to go. Okay, now we're going to trim, and then we'll put some ink on the edge because it's going to take off all the inked edge. I'd rather have my page a little bit bigger than to there. Than to not have it the right size, if you know what I mean. Okay, here I'm going to run some ink real quick right here along this edge. I probably should have put more ink on it, but it seems to be taking care of it. Yeah, there we go. All right, everything else is inked. So now we're going to put this paper down. And doing these papers on every page is what is bulking up my book. And I don't care. I wanted them because I love the papers. And it does make a difference. Okay. Now, this thing, it just wants to be super thick. It's just coming out faster than normal. I think it's because of the glue is kind of, I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know why the glue's acting silly. Okay, here we go. We're going to put this one down inside next to that one. We line it up at the bottom and make sure that's all covered. This fits on this one better, so we won't have to cut much off. Okay, now trim a little bit. Trim, trim, trim. Whoopsie. All right. Little bit right here on the bottom, just a tiny bit is sticking out. Let's see if we can get it. If not, we'll just leave it, because it's right along the edge. It's coming off a little bit at a time. Okay, that's good enough there. Now, we don't have to do much inking because we kind of kept all the inking. Okay, so there we go. I'm just throwing trash everywhere. So, you know, how often do you get to do brown pineapples? Not very often, I'm sure. Now, I just decided to do this very simple. You know, when you get close to the end of your journal, you get a little more, you know, careful. Now, this brown is fitting great on this side, but because the page is smaller on the left, I'm going to have to trim both sides of this. So, yay. Now, if it was nighttime and you could open your window in the rain, that would be awesome. So, I'm going to trim a little bit of this off on both sides of the pocket. And then I'll go from there on whether or not it's the right size. It's smaller, but that's okay. We'll just do like this, and then we'll cut this one smaller too. You just line up the center like that, and then we'll just cut each side of the brown one. And no one will know the difference, except you and me. Okay. All right. Got that all done. So we're good on that. And we're going to ink this because it definitely shows that we cut the sides. Just ink one at a time. Come on. Okay. So I want it to show a little bit on the front that I inked. Just a little. It doesn't have to be a lot. I don't want it to have that cut off look. Ooh, hear the thunder? That's sleeping weather. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is kind of center these on each page, so they won't be touching each other if you center them. Let's do this. We'll just do like that. Then we'll come down here. Oops, that's nothing like going off the ledge. Let me get that. We don't want that everywhere. That's for sure. Okay, and then we're going to do this other side. And we'll do this for both pockets. So opposite paper on each one, which makes it fun. And hopefully I cut my pocket straight. Who knows, right? Sometimes if your page is crooked a little bit, your pocket will be also, but that wouldn't happen very often. Okay, there we go. So put a little bit right there. Take it right there and put it right there. All right. Hopefully that is perfect for this. Now, got to go to the center. And yeah, there we go. So this page is a little wider than this page, and that's why they might look crooked to you, but they're not. Okay. There we go. Now, I did ink these. These are just two of the Lady Carol that makes these kind of papers. And this is just a, now I'm not going to leave these in here because I don't want them to get glue on them. But they will go just like that, okay? But first, we've got to put some of this lace on here. And I want it to be straight. It looks like I cut a little bit much off, doesn't it? So I'm just going to cut between the scallops. And then I'm going to straighten it. And go ahead and cut off where it needs to be cut off on this side to fit the pocket. So that goes there. Let's get another one and see how it goes. Let me cut this one straight. Is that the right side or the bad side? Or no, it's the right side. So we're going to go just like this, come over here and cut right there. Cutting straight's the hard part, especially if it's curving on you like it is. But it'd be close enough, I'll put it that way. I should have just put it on there loopy, but I didn't want to do that. So I'm just going to put a line of glue right here. Okay, then I'm going to glue this down on the inside, and you will have to work this into a straight position probably because it wants to curve. But once you get it down, it will stay because the glue's going to hold it down. And I'm going to lift up the very side of this. I'm trying to find my little, there it is. I'm going to lift up the side of the crocheted lace and just do down the side so that part stays down. And do the same thing on the other side, hopefully. And there we go. Now, is it perfectly straight? I don't know. It don't matter to me. It's just my personal journal. Okay, now, after we get the other side down, which I'm not, I think I cut this one. I laid it down somewhere, didn't I? Okay, that's going to be a little short, so let's try this one. Might have to cut some more. Nope, this is the one I cut. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of line it up with the pocket next door. And we're just going to do a straight line, the best you can. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit down each side to hold the rest of it down. Okay. I think I put that on upside down, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, here we go. Right there. Straight as you can get it. On the glue. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see. So now we're going to also, I'm going to set this over here to dry a little bit. We're also going to do these two tags. Well, at least that's what I'm calling them, tags. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same thing on the tags. And I'm going to line them up so they're pretty even. Pretty close to the same size. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up right here. Hold it so you can get it straight. Now, let it sit there for a minute, and then I'm going to come over and do this side. Line it up the best you can. Pull it straight. And then just pat it down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trim this to be the right size. And then we'll put the sides down with some glue too. because I don't want to get the glue all over my scissors, so that's why I'm doing it like that. Let's get this one. Can I just say it's hard to keep a pair of scissors sharp? It makes me crazy. Okay, so look at this. Let's move this over. Now, one little added touch, and I only had 2 of these buttons. So, one little added touch are these buttons. Now, I did pop the back loop off, but I want them to be right in the center of where the line is. And my glue is flying out like crazy for some reason. And then I'm just kind of holding it down. And it is up over the line just a tiny bit, because it gives a separation by doing that. These will stay on, but you got to give them some time to dry. Let me see if they're straight. Well, okay, there we go. All right, so this page is pretty much done. It was super simple, and I want to show you how it's going to look when we get it all together. We're not, we're using the lace to represent our topper. Whoops, I forgot to put glue under there. Just thought I was done. So you want to make sure you glue these little sides down, because they'll just be flipping up all the time if you don't. Okay, right there. So there we go. Keep them down. Now we're going to put it right here so I can show you, but then I'll take it out and let it dry a little bit. Okay, see if I did this side. No, I didn't. What was up with me? Trying to get this done, I guess. I didn't overdo it, just enough to hold it down. Okay, make sure it's not running. All right, so this one's going to go in this pocket, but I'll take it out to dry, like I said, and go down here. All right. I had someone ask me in a video not long ago that there's a lot of commercials on my video. If so, that's something pretty new, I think. I don't know if YouTube just chose to do that on their own. Every time you reach 1,000 subscribers, they do other things. And so I don't know. I don't know if I can have any control over that. I'm sorry if that's a problem. So here is the last 2 pages. So now I'm going to close. See, Miss Pat? Miss Pat?
Oh, I like the buttons on that. I like the brown with the pineapple.
I do too.
Got brown and pineapple really
I know.
well together.
Seriously, nice. I was happy to see that, and I love it for my last page. So let's flip through it real quick. If we can get it closed. Look at this, guys. Talk about a little chubby turkey. That is chubby. I've never made a journal this chubby, but I will use this. It will be my next journal to use when I finish the one I'm in. So yeah, that's fun, right? Okay, so here is the top, and it does tie with a red and blue seam binding. Then I've got my little balls dangling over here.
Talk about the 2-color ribbon.
Yeah, I decided to. It was just a red ribbon, but then I had bought something else that had blue ribbon, and so I just decided I'm going to use it. So there you go. And all these other little fibers are attaching to my book. Okay, so here we go. Let's go through it. Starting at the front with my cute little strawberries and bright red and bright yellow. It's got a vintage strawberry playing card. It says, "Hey, sweet thing." I love the way my library pocket turned out with the red rickrack, and I added a cherry embossed tag. And here we have lemons and more lemons. We're going to have a lot of lemons. And I just did a yellow bag with the tag that come in the kit. I just tied it with some yellow rag like fabric. And I made a fabric pocket out of this same trim. And I just made a little tag out of a piece of scrap paper. Put a little yellow claim check in here. And that is how it goes. This is a cute little paper that she put in the kit. That Lynette put in the kit. Now I'm going to flip it open. And this paper folds out. And so you have this design on the inside. Not my favorite. But, you know, it works. And I just put lemons on the tab. This opens right here. Okay, and so we're going to close that. And then over here, I just put a couple little pieces of lemon paper and 3 little lemons at the top. Use some mini, little tiny tags. Says lemon and cherries, because I did do cherries on this little tag here. Okay, this is a pocket made out of a yellow doily that I had in my stash. The next one is where we decoupaged this pineapple napkin on the page. And we put it onto a green page. And so I had these from the dollar spot. And these came out of a little ephemera pack that I had. And I cut this off of a pineapple paper. So this came from one of the last kits, this little yellow sticker. I just took this little tiny pineapple paper and cut some at a slant. Wrote pineapples on the tag or the tab and made out of this navy and yellow a tag that you can journal on, and it has a big round tab on the top. And I stamped a little pineapple here and "Hey, sweet thing" right there. It's just a real simple design. Okay, now let's see if we can get to the next page, which is pretty big, and that's super thick right there. Wonder if those are really supposed to go together. Let me look. Oh, I guess so. They're thick because I used these pages to make this pocket. Now here in the bottom pocket, I just fussy cut a little tiny pineapple and banana, and I put a little sales tag underneath that says 99 cents. And I just made it out of some extra scrap paper. Stitched around it to give it a little bit of style. Put brown paper here and here. I put the pineapple and banana paper. And then on this one, I did 2 papers at the top pocket. And over here, I just did pineapple and bananas. I just typed these with those little individual alphabet. Over here, I did a guess check. Slanted some of this yellow paper and zigzagged it on. Used one of my banana playing cards. Put a pineapple here. Just had a scallop, and I had this little tiny, I guess you'd call it a ticket-like thing. And then here, I had a pocket here. I turned sideways because I cut too many. Decided to use it on our little mini CD case, and I made a shaker out of scrap yellow paper. It moves around, you just have to play with it, and then I glued a pineapple in the back. So that's fun, huh? Okay, so then I just slid it into here. Added a couple flowers on the blank paper because it just looked plain, and that's how that turned out. Okay, so we're moving on. This is a strawberry paper. Has this cute little red tag that was in the kit, and a little green one, and I had this little red and yellow one, and I just put a piece of yellow seam binding. No, I'm sorry. Yellow bias tape, or like bias tape, I guess. It's just lace, and I put this here. Now, I pulled it really tight, but I will tell you, these little tags like to move. So be prepared. Over here, I just drew a little strawberry on this book page, little metal frame. Double layered this pocket with strawberries. I love the little flowers that you see around strawberries. This is wallpaper that came in the kit. Has some little blue butterflies. And this side was a pink or red paper. And I just layered out of scraps. I just made this, put a red scrap that's square, and then put another round one. Added some red lace to the top. Simple. If you look at all these as simple, they will be. You'll learn how to get it all done. Now, on this, I used this lemon paper that's just, you know, sliced lemons. And this paper came out of the kit, and I made a tag. And I added some of my little applique pink flowers. And I love it when you have a stripe on the other side and you can journal on that. Makes it fun. I did scallop around my pocket, and I added these little flowers here. On this side over here, I folded some of the lemon paper, and then I just scalloped the edge, and then you can open it to journal. Now, you do put glue on the back and glue that back side down. I had a little pocket here, more appliques, did a little pink claim check, tied a little bit of that yellow leftover scrap. Yeah, that one was simple. Now, moving over here, this was my second favorite, I think. It was very involved, but we stamped pineapples all over this tag. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see. The reason I did that, and it has seam binding on the top, blue seam binding, I had this really cool paper. See, you can see it here with all different color. Well, I had blue and yellow and green and pink, and you know, so I did just those colors on the tag. I'm going to put it right here. And on this, it has this bag. I did a scallop here, and I just stitched it on right here. I did not stitch it on. I stitched it and then glued it in this situation and this situation. All others are stitched. Okay, so I just cut a pineapple off of a piece of paper, put a little trim on that little green tag, and put that on a piece of yellow scrap. And then I made a journaling card that I put in the pocket with a little bit of scallops. Scallop, and you journal on the back lines. And I put pineapples here and pineapples there. But this paper is really kind of stunning, I think. I love this different color pineapple paper. And yeah, I don't remember where I got it, but I love it. And then I just took some yellow scrap paper right here and put a stitch around it, and then came back and put a layer of pink paper, stitched on it, and then I put this pineapple paper in the middle and stitched all around it, and added this little trim at the top. Used this little pineapple that has rainbow glasses on. He went perfect with this. Added a little pineapple circle and another one of the embellishments on a pink ticket. Okay, empty pages, don't fall over. Then we just finished this one, so I don't need to show you that. This, I didn't have blueberries, and I wanted blueberry pages, but I had this wallpaper I got when I purchased the extra kit. She does offer 2 extra kits, $7.50 and $15. I think the $7.50 has 15 things, and the $15 one has, don't hold me to this, maybe 30. I don't know for sure. You'll have to check. So I put this wallpaper here, and then I made the tag out of this kind of shiny check that I just had. Excuse me. I added a blue flower here at the top and a strip of this wallpaper. And I just went with the bling. It didn't have bling in it, and I had to have some. So I put these bling all down first. And I also added this blue rickrack that matched. And then I went around with a marker, with a Sharpie marker, and made like a little berry shape. So these are blueberries, and I put blueberries here and blueberries on the tag. I thought it turned out super cute. And here's our peach paper that we did. You've seen that already because we just finished it. And then here is the bag that folds out to journal under, and then has this giant tag to journal on both sides. And it looks like it does not want to stay tied. Little silly thing. So that means we don't tie it because it won't stay. And it's acting weird. I'll have to operate on it later. Okay, there we go. Now we're going over to this side to a cherry page. And I love cherries, and so I just thought this page was cute. I used the eyelash trim out of the kit. It is blue and red for the toppers. I made this little cherry embellishment and put it on an old heart shape I had with green seam binding. It looks just like a little cherry. I put it in a red check paper pocket, and this background has little gray colored, kind of bluish gray check with cherries all over. Tied a piece of twine or a little piece of jute around the lid and added cherries. And here I just had these from the Prima paper, Prima fruit paper. Here's a little recipe card and just a journaling card. I thought those turned out cute. We did glue down the sides of this bag because it was like a lunch bag kind of size. And I covered the bottom of it because it wasn't attractive. So I just glued there and there to hold it down. Now over here I just put an apple image, and cherry, and then I trimmed out my cherries here. Just used a blue claim check and made a tag out of the cherry paper. I think it turned out cute. And this little blue check with cherries is out of one of the 6x6 by Authentic. Now we're going to move over here. Blank pages. We got to put a siren off. And I have a tag I'm letting Pat look at right now that goes right here in this pocket. Okay. I made this little clip right here to kind of hold it so it doesn't fall out, and use green seam binding right there. This is an apple page. This is from like an old restaurant that has red and white check placemats. That's what this was. And I had an piece of apple stationery. I just fussy cut it out. I had an applesauce cake recipe. I put that there. Cut the big apples out and put them here on this doily. Okay, so moving along, we decoupaged watermelon. We did a tag, and we did like a file folder. I added on the front of this file folder a fourth of a big doily, red doily. Took a green tag, or took a green price tag and put a watermelon on it. 25 cents on the sales price, and put another watermelon here. I've had this probably since the first or second journal I had, and I decided this was the perfect place for it. It is good. Watermelon is very good. And then I took one of the little stickers in the kit and wrote watermelon, 25 cents. And I went ahead and wrote the date of when I made this page, but they're not 25 cents anymore. Okay, and over here I labeled this to say watermelon, And then I made a tag out of the red check. Added some watermelon here in the middle. Put this little red tag here. And I drew a little watermelon piece right there. And I just strung it through the red. And then I just added some black satin lace. I know satin does not go with this sort of thing, you would think, but it worked. And so it goes right inside there. I don't know if I've got it all the way down there. I think I do. I'll have to piddle with it. Okay, and over here we had the actual red tag with watermelons. So that's that page. Moving along, we have an empty space here, okay, on that side. And over here we have lemon and lemon. So striped yellow with some cream color rickrack. And it says right here, when life gives you lemons. So I stamped that, made the tag, put some rickrack at the top. And then on the flap here, I put a yellow and a green tag with a lemon that I stamped. Up here, I did a paper clip to hold that flap shut because I had to do some operations on that flap. I used yellow rickrack there, and then it just opens, and then it closes, and you just add your little rickrack right there to hold it closed. Added some off-white or cream color rickrack there. This is your bead marker that comes in the kit. You just put it in here wherever you want to keep your page. And so now we're over to the oranges. I love the little orange page. I just cut out the shape instead of a file folder for the pocket. And then I trimmed around the fourth little orange and put it on this green tag and added these little puffy orange slices. This little orange slice here onto a side tuck that I just put on this brown paper. And then I pulled out the orange slices, and there you go. Now we're getting close. Here's a blank page. Here is a lemon decorated page. There's nowhere to journal unless you want to journal around the spaces. Decoupage this napkin on, put some puffy lemons on, paper lemons, did some doily, stamped some lemons. I thought it was sweet. Last page, we used from the kit the lemonade glass, and it says 10 cents. You just do this lemon paper, make pockets, use brown on the edges of the pockets because of the brown in the napkin. Life is lovely. And I popped up some lemons and a big lemon. And this little journaling card says, let's make lemonade. There's my yellow pom-poms. Okay, now let me put this back. This was super fun to make. And I suggest you get busy on yours if you haven't had time to make it. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'm going to go and see what my next project is. I'll see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. And if you are, yeah, go to my Etsy shop.
There are really some nice things, if I could say that, in the Etsy shop. I love that. Yes, I know you're done, but I do love, I don't know if I've told you, the Oriental, the Asian. Oh my gosh, Paula.
I love it too.
That is beautiful.
Anyway. It is. It is beautiful. And I'm about to put, it'll be in this next week or two, but I'm about to put my sewing book in, which has a quilt, an old vintage quilt square. And so it was a lot of fun. All right, and if you haven't subscribed, do please. And if you're recently subscribed, I want to welcome you personally. I hope you're having fun, and I hope we can continue to have fun. Hello, my regular subbies. I appreciate you guys so much. Well, I guess I better get busy working on something else, or maybe my husband would appreciate some help packing. See you next time. Bye.